There are several things which are very important over here. I do not side with either side. I do think that all three of them, the Western-led alliance, Ukraine and Russia, all of them are responsible for the outbreak of the war. It's not that one person is the good guy, the other person is the bad guy. I think all three of them have done something which are responsible for the outbreak of the war. For the Western alliance, for example, because of expansion of NATO all the way to the backyard of Russia, and that threatened the national security of Russia. Ukraine is trying to side with, trying to join NATO and the EU. I think that for a country like that, which is sandwiched between two major power blocks, they should be neutral. You should be nice to both so that you can take advantage of the benefits from both. Instead, if you side with one side against the other side will attack you. If you go to this side, the other side, then you will be dominated by the other side. So either way that they go, that's a very bad choice. But I think that it's much better off for them to be neutral. But now the war has broken out. What are the consequences, as you ask, especially in Africa? There are two or three things which I think are very important, and that has major, very serious international implications. Number one is about trade. The Western-led alliance is imposing massive sanctions on Russia in order to hurt Russia. It has consequences because now, if you do not trade with Russia or force other people not to trade with Russia, because the Western-led alliance is also pressuring the rest of the world not to trade with Russia too. It's not like the Western powers do not want to trade with them. They're also pressuring other countries. If you trade with them, we will put sanctions on you too. So they are trying to drag the rest of the world into a polarization of the international trading system. I think that that is very negative in the longer term. Look at the prices. The natural resources, now the prices are going up. That means that in terms of the economic impact, you have inflation. You will see that the prices will go up, especially in Europe, because they depend on Russia. And also in the US too, but much less in some of the countries which depend on all those resources. You will see the prices are going to go up. Food prices. Some countries like Egypt and some of the African countries, they import, let's say, corn wheat from Ukraine, from Russia and all that. They will also suffer too, because the prices are going to go up. And the international trading system now is broken down. Instead of trading with each other to benefit from trading, now the Western-led alliance is trying to encourage people to divide the world into two different camps. That is very bad internationally. That's number one. Number two, the financial system. The Western-led alliance is also trying to impose, to kick Russia out of the SWIFT system, the international payment system, and try to freeze or confiscate the currency, the reserve currency that Russia has in the foreign banks, let's say in the Western-led alliance countries. Now that is also have a major international consequence because number one, it may hurt Russia, but in the end it also hurt the Western world because now if you do that, what is going to happen now? Look, Russia now is insisting that they do not want to import and export by using American dollars. They try to use rubles or some other currency. Russia, by the way, is negotiating with China. China, from now on, they trade with each other using yuan and also ruble too. Saudi Arabia and China now are negotiating. Maybe they try to trade with each other in a different currency. Why? Because if you use American dollars, they can take your money. In case you do something which they disagree, they will put sanctions on you too. So in fact, the US has already made some remarks about that. Next time, if China threatens Taiwan or it decide to invade Taiwan, all those assets and currency that China has in the US can be frozen. And we are talking about a lot of money over here, and China now is thinking very hard. They have been doing that for quite some time already, but this crisis is really dragging other countries. I think that that is a hard choice. Number one, for those countries, the consequence is that it's time to look for alternative international currency for trading, because now it becomes more and more clear the US dollar is not reliable, because the US has weaponized American dollar. They use it as a weapon. So for many of those countries now, that has become a red flag. It's not because they don't know about it. People have known about this for quite some time. It's that the crisis has really polarized the world in such a way that the US now and the Western-led alliance is weaponizing everything, even sports. Even sports now, they do not allow the Russian athletes to go to Wimbledon for the championship unless they condemn the invasion. So now they weaponize everything. Now people are getting very nervous about it. So it's not safe anymore to use American dollars. It's not safe. So that's why I just mentioned to you all this kind of that's what they are going to do. And I do think that not only that, they are going to search for alternative international payment system. Russia is already doing that. China is already doing that. And I think that some of those countries, in your case, Africa, sooner or later, you are going to do that too, because you will be next.